Welcome to the Brook, bearing clusters of truth with a splash of common sense.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to episode number 2 of of the show, The Brook. I'm back here in the studio again with Pastor Reeves.
Hello.
David.
Glad to finally be on here.
Yes. Peter.
I'm here too.
We did experience a couple difficulties getting ready this evening. When you have church and you have the ministry, sometimes things just have to wait. And preparations for tomorrow took us a little longer than I think we were planning on, but we are glad to be with you.
We're
today.
here.
We are.
We are here. It is good to be here. We've got an exciting show planned for today. David, take us away with the giveaway. Guess what?
Okay.
We've got another one.
We do. We've got a giveaway. As you can see, we've got our special edition mugs in. I don't know what camera we're on. We're on this camera. Check it out. The Brook. Now, real quick, let me mention this. I don't think we put this in our notes here, but you can get your very own special edition mug by going to. Now, this is where it's going to get confusing. I will send the link out via Twitter, and I'll repost it on Instagram. But if you go to our church website, northplattebaptistchurch.org, and you go over to the tab that says store, you click that. As soon as you click that, it will open up the store, and you will be able to purchase. You'll see one of these mugs. You'll see a normal Canaan Radio mug. You'll see some other stuff. But you can purchase this. So purchase it quick, because we actually don't have a whole lot of them. So if you want one, you've got to get one as fast as you can. As far as the giveaway is concerned, we are giving away a Canaan Radio t-shirt. Let me get it.
Oh, show us
That's
the
awesome.
Canaan Radio t-shirt.
Hey, we want to say hi to Raylan, Lindsay, Kaylee, Michael. Let's see, who else is here? Kane.
YouTube shout out for those of you who are watching.
I see names here. I might as well say hi to them, right?
Okay, you gotta show them.
Okay, Canaan. Let's go to the main camera here. We're gonna go main camera. The Canaan Radio t-shirt. I mean, this is an amazing t-shirt. It's 100% cotton, and it comes in all sizes. It is so very comfortable. It's unbelievably comfortable.
It is.
It has 3 different colors. Would you believe that? And no one will mistake you.
It comes in 3 different colors?
No, it has 3 different colors on it.
It has 3. It has white, green, and of course purple.
Beautiful.
Some people may say you'll represent a grape when you wear this, but hey, I mean, you represent Canaan Radio well. On the back it says CanaanRadio.com. So we're giving this out. This is a $200 value.
$200. Wow.
I wouldn't say that, but do you want to tell us about how?
Yeah,
yes,
I'll
Dad,
do
tell us
that.
about how.
We're going to change it up a little bit today.
Sure.
Last week had a little bit of an interesting experience having you try to identify color. Doesn't always work.
That was
so, what we're going to do this time is the person that is able to get 3 listeners, 3 people to listen. They and you have to be watching the show, and text your name to 920-940-8275. Secondly, they and you have to be following Canaan Radio on Instagram or Twitter. We prefer both, but we'll take one or the other. And then 3, they and you must be subscribed to our YouTube channel, Canaan Radio YouTube.
I'm just going to give a couple tips on that. If you go to CanaanRadio.com/giveaway, it will take you to where you can prove that you are following us on Twitter, you are following us on YouTube, and you are following us on Instagram, on any of those 3. It gives us entries. We are tracking this digitally now. That makes it a little bit easier for us, but it's CanaanRadio.com/giveaway. We did not have time to add this to our lists, so this is a new addition to the way we're doing things. And then, yes, so if you are able to get 3 people, let's say I get Pastor, Peter, and David to start listening to the broadcast, while they're listening to the broadcast, they need to text your name. So they would text Will to 940-920.
No,
920-940-8275. And that's how That's how we know that you were able
So did
to
you
get
just go
3 people.
right back over top of what I just said?
I wanted to make sure they were clear on whose name they were texting, because that wasn't very clear.
Did you go over the link? Because I wasn't listening.
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't listening.
It's CanaanRadio.com/giveaway. And if you are on YouTube, I will put that in the, what is it?
Hi, John Mark.
CanaanRadio.com/giveaway. If you are able to go to CanaanRadio.com/giveaway, you can fill in the digital entries, and by the time we get to the end, we will know who the winner is. But we have to also receive a text message with 3 names of people that you got to watch the live stream or to listen to it on Canaan Radio through the app or through the website.
If you're listening, John Mark, you need to win this Canaan Radio t-shirt. You need to get 3 of your friends to watch.
There you go.
There you go.
All right.
3 friends?
Yeah, well, I don't know. That might be hard.
We do have a great show planned for today. I'm pretty excited about all the different segments. Let's go ahead and move forward. We love to hear from our listeners. So during the show, we want to hear from you. A great way to stay in touch is through requesting a song from our vast Canaan Radio library. David, tell us about how many songs we have.
We have like a million songs. No, we don't have a million songs.
Like so many.
But we do have like 4,000 songs. Are you trying to do the Chipotle's My Life?
Yeah, Chipotle's My
Life. Wow. Canaan Radio's My Life.
So you can pick a song, request the song. We will attempt to play it if we can, as we have time. As you know, we like to talk a lot. So.
Yeah, if you text us or DM or whatever, however you get a hold of us, and you just give us the name of the song, we will just pick the artist. If you give us an artist and we don't have it, we'll just pick another artist if we've got the song.
Exactly. So you can send that to 920-940-8275. Someone told me I need to say that slower. It is 920-940-8275. Or you can post a tweet using the Twitter handle Canaan_radio, or send us a direct message on Instagram using the same handle to request the song. We'll give you a shout out as well as play the song if we have it and as time allows during the show. Again, the number 920-940-8275. David, would you like to actually
open to the discussion? I think we're at open.
Yeah, we're at the open mic.
The reason, so we'll just tell you, the reason we were late is because we were practicing specials for tomorrow's service and for the bus conference. That's
I was on time.
You were on time. Brother Peter was on time.
It's quite the setup. So,
it is compared to how our old. If you have seen our old live broadcast, you would be amazed, because not only do we have a plan, but our cameras are better. We have a better layout. We're pretty much planned, ready to go. Mm-hmm. Our old one was quite interesting.
It was.
I don't remember where I was going with that, but it was good.
You're talking about why it took us so long.
Oh, yeah, because it's quite a setup.
Well, folks, let me explain it this way. It's kind of like when you buy a new car. The guys have this new radio station smell about them. It'll wear off. So a few broadcasts down the road, they'll stop talking about how wonderful their broadcast is.
Oh, it's so wonderful.
Someday, as soon as I get done drinking, I have my...
We're gonna go ahead and move on. Does anyone else have anything during the open mic? Does anyone have anything to add, to share, to say?
I didn't know. I guess we're gonna have an open mic. So.
We always have.
It's in the notes. Follow the notes, people. Just kidding.
Do we want to talk about that?
What?
Following the notes.
Following the notes. That's going to be in my Grapes of Wrath segment.
Okay, let's go ahead and move along. Last week's episode is available as a podcast on our website. That is exciting.
How about that?
I'm excited.
I'm having flashbacks. I'm having flashbacks right now.
We are reverting to the old broadcast.
Yeah, no, we're not. Okay, so it's available on our website and on YouTube. You can go back and watch those. You can also subscribe to pretty much anywhere where podcasts are available. iTunes, it will be available hopefully this coming week, but I guess there's 3 or 4 different major. We're available on Spotify. I know that's a big one, so you can check it out there.
Thank you, Brother Tyson, for ordering a special edition The Brook mug.
You can always count on
Brother Tyson. It will be in the mail this week.
He needs to buy one for his 2 kids that are at college.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I wonder if Sean's listening.
Sean, are you listening?
Give him a hard time.
Well, if he is listening, he should be able to get 3 friends, right?
Yeah, he should. He should.
Yeah. He's got at least that many roommates, right?
And remember, you can request a song during the show, texting us 920-940-8275. Use the Twitter handle at Canaan_radio, or direct message us at Canaan_radio. Up first, we're going to play a song Precious Jesus by Alvin Martinez.
For breaking news here and around the country, welcome to Heard It Through the Grapevine. The spin starts here.
Well,
We're
back.
We're back.
Yes, we are. It is good
It's
to be
more
back.
entertaining
The
if stuff
song
goes wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
okay,
true.
so the
It's
song
like
that you
keep
heard
people
was
interested.
Precious Jesus by Alvin Martinez. We're going to go ahead and move on. Pastor today has Heard It Through the Grapevine.
Well, that was what I was going to tell you, that this is a section where we, can you not hear me?
You got to move your mic up. You're like 6 feet
I'm
away
right,
from
like-
your mic there.
That's
Ain't it?
great.
There
That's
he
good.
is.
Is that better? Wait a
That's-
minute. There. How's that?
That's
That's
perfect.
Is that
great.
a lot
Now we
better?
got all
Much
those popping
better.
That's
peas.
what I thought. So this is Heard It Through the Grapevine, where we bring news and tidbits from the ministry here at North Platte Baptist Church, as well as some other things. David.
Yeah.
There you
We're
go.
going to talk about the bus conference.
Yeah.
So we actually
I have a text.
we're actually have a special call in, and he's going to be. It's a pastor that came to our bus conference last year. He was here for the very first time last year, and he's coming again this year. Would you believe that? You know, it's a good bus conference when he comes one year out of the blue. We invited him, but he actually came, and then this coming year he comes back again. Well, we're gonna have him on the radio. He's gonna call in here in just a little bit after we go to a break. But of course, the bus conference is actually just a little over a week away, and
What's it called again?
It is called Wheel Work. That is the theme. Wheel work. So not like this wheel work till not that. Like the actual tire kind of a wheel.
See, you could sing that and get away with it.
You can, yeah. I just didn't want anyone to be confused. Like we were saying, wheel, like wheel.
Wheel work.
Yes. But wheel work, we get that from Jeremiah 18:3, I believe. I think I say it every week. I can never remember if that's
3:18.
right. 3:18. No, it's 18:3.
No, it's 18:3.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
It's 18:3.
Don't listen to me.
But anyway, yes, that's coming up 17th and 18th. That is a Monday and Tuesday. You do not want to miss it. It is going to be a blessing. It's going to be not only a lot of fun, it's going to give bus workers, bus captains, bus directors a lot of good ideas. We are going to have a lot of fun games that you can incorporate back at your own church, on your own church buses. You can... we're going to have not only games, we're going to have a lot of songs that you can incorporate. We're going to have, of course, the preaching, which is paramount. That's going to be awesome. That's going to be by Dr. William Tyson. He's going to be here this year with us. He was with us last year. And then we're going to have Dr. Francis with us this year as well. So you just do not want to miss it.
If you want to hear the stories about Pastor Reeves when he was in college, you want to be here
That's right.
for that.
That's right.
When we get we're paying him extra, right? No.
Yeah.
Francis?
Bring him. We'll have a special edition live broadcast. We'll bring him in here without Pastor. Be like,
Yeah.
we need to know something.
We'll record everything and edit it
Yes.
later.
Yeah.
Okay, Peter, we can talk about the upcoming camp season. Let's go ahead and go over that.
Oh, okay. Well, upcoming camp season, we have our camp out by Lake Maloney, Camp Patmos, and it's a 70-acre camp. It's right off of a 1,600-acre lake, I believe it is, right?
Yep.
But anyway, we've had that camp running for the past 7-8 years now, and we're going to be opening up here as soon as the weather gets warm. We're going to be holding out there church picnics, and we've actually got our day camp planned.
100-foot water slide.
Yeah, 100-foot water slide. But we got our vacation Bible school, vacation Bible camp is what we call it. We'll bring all of our bus kids out there for a week of day camp and just have activities from 100-foot water slide to water balloons to air bounces to all sorts of fun. Then, of course, we'll have churches come in and we'll be hosting camps during the summer. And we always have a blast with that. People come out to learn to water ski, to do tubing out on the lake behind a
We promise
speedboat.
you will survive.
Maybe.
Well, maybe you won't escape without injury, but at
Yes,
least
but you
you'll
will
have
survive.
fun.
You'll have a blast.
You will have a blast.
Yes, you will.
But we're going to have a lot of fun with that. There's a lot of things going into every camp that comes up, and we in our church just prepare and plan and pray for every group that we have coming in. So there's a lot more to be said about that, but for now, I think we'll just.
Well, and
leave
if
it
you,
at that.
I'll put this plug in there. If you want to learn more about the camp, go to the camp website. If you go to our church website, North Platte Baptist Church, northplattebaptist.org, and you can go to the ministries tab. In the ministries tab, you'll find Camp Patmos. If you click on that, it will take you to the Camp Patmos website. You can learn a lot more about it. You can also get Brother Peter's contact info, so you can email him or text him or call him and say, hey, I got a group of kids I want to bring out, and he will answer you.
We did have some kids today that we talked to some parents about the bus kid day camp.
Yes,
that's going to be exciting.
That is going to be a blast.
And one more thing before we go to a song, Pastor Reeves, I think, is going to tell us a little bit about the couples retreat this year.
I just was going to say I was looking forward to our couples retreat coming up and spending some time with the married folks of our church. And that comes up February 28th and 29th. Our theme this year is Walking Together Forever. And the theme verse is Amos 3:3, can two walk together except they be agreed?
And with that, we are going to go to a song. When we come back, we are going to have a special guest with us via telephone call. That's going to be exciting. And we're going to talk about the bus conference coming up, give some more details, ask some questions. So we're going to go ahead and go to a song. We'll come right back. The next song, who was this requested by, David?
This was requested by Courtney, yes, and it was Never Too Far, sung by the Faithman Quartet. We sort of had a little malfunction there. We've actually got Pastor Day on the phone right now. I do not know if he can quite hear us yet. I don't think he's coming through just yet. But if you do hear us, Brother Day, you can unmute your phone. So we had him call in. Oh, there he is. Hey, Brother Day, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Hey, well, it's fantastic to have you on the phone. It's sort of, we've got some crazy stuff happening. Have you been able to watch the broadcast so far on YouTube?
Yes.
Hey,
yes.
Well, there you go. Then you know that it has been a little bit of a mess. But hey, we are so glad to have you, Brother Day, on the phone. Of course, I had already told everyone that you were able to come to our bus conference last year, and it was a blessing to have you, and we wanted to have you on again. Now, Brother Day, of course, I already gave everyone your name, but could you tell us what the name of your church is and where you pastor at as far as the location?
Yes, I pastor Fellowship Baptist Church here in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Amen. Now, how far away is that from North Platte?
That's about 2.5 hours.
Wow. Okay. Now, how did you originally hear about? I don't think I remember you telling me this, but how did you originally hear about our bus conference?
Well, I had actually gotten a letter in the mail.
Okay.
And when we actually got the letter, we were actually going through a rough spot with our bus ministry due to the fact that our bus captain at that time just kind of, I guess you could say, had a meltdown and just kind of walked away from the bus ministry. Wow.
Well, you see, I never even was able to talk to you last year about that. So you talk about divine appointments. That's pretty neat to hear. And sorry, Brother Day, I did also want to introduce, I do have, of course, my dad, Pastor Reeves, here with us as well.
Preacher, how are you doing? I'm excited to hear you're coming out this year.
Amen. It's going to be a good thing for us to come back. So.
Amen. Are you bringing your son? Are you going to bring more folks with you? Or?
Well, I was planning on bringing our new bus captain,
Amen.
and but him and his wife are going to be having a child during that week. So
we can't wait.
He's unable to be able to make it with us. So.
Oh, I guess that's an okay excuse.
Let it slide this year.
Yes. So I did want to ask you, I know last year was your first time to attend our bus conference. What would you say was the number one thing that surprised you the most about our bus conference?
Well, I guess what it was for me is that you actually did a bus rally type conference. I mean, it was live. You actually got to see what you were trying to get across, and that's, for me, is what sold me. I've been to so many different conferences where we sit in little rooms and we go over different things, and you get a whole bunch of books and things, and then you go home and you try to figure out how does that work for you or I. And so just watching it put to play and being there with the kids and being a part and it was amazing. It was an amazing experience for me.
Amen. Well, it's good to hear, because that was one of our goals with the bus conference. I know originally when Pastor Reeves started it, one of his goals was to make it, a little bit different of a bus conference. Instead of coming to a conference and learning how it should be done or hearing how it should be done, you're actually going to experience. So if you've never been to our bus conference, the first thing we do on Monday night, as soon as everyone's in there, we split up the auditorium into 4 different sections, into 4 different bus routes. And not only do we have the 4 different bus routes, but it's not just adults that attend. We also have a lot of our bus kids that get to attend as well. So that definitely gives it a different spirit.
We actually put preachers as bus captains. They represent those bus routes, and then we provide them with bus kids, bus riders.
Yes,
in their bus.
And we've got poster boards, we've got signs, we've got flags, banners. I mean, you name it for your bus route, and you get to name the bus route, and you have the same team spirit that you're going to want on your bus route.
The whole idea behind this layout was to give everybody the idea of what a bus program looks like on Sunday morning, how to make your bus route exciting. I mean, from singing the songs to having the spirit to following the leadership of the song or the bus captain, playing games, pass it up, things like that. It's just a lot of fun.
Okay, we play some seriously great, crazy games. Games that I have not even before played up until last year before on the bus route. Yeah. Some of the games, we researched them and we did them for the first time. Some of them were flop, but a good majority of them were like, man, these are fantastic games to do on a bus route.
Brother Day's right. It's a different kind of conference, because we've gone to a lot of conferences, and just like Brother Day said, you go, you get books, you get information, you get teaching. That's all fine and dandy. One of the things that I was excited about is actually getting the visitors involved and the crazy things that we do. I think Brother Day was the victim last year. Did we paint your hair? Did we paint your hair last year?
No.
We did something to you.
And I believe it was a slime sock.
Oh man. Oh man, that I know we've had some preachers. Last year we had one. Did we ever do that to Brother Tyson? Did we paint his hair? I don't think we sprayed. I don't think we colored his hair.
Hair.
We colored somebody's
preacher.
Yeah, and how it works, of course, it's all these different bus routes, and they're competing against each other for points. And the losing bus route always has the bus captain has to do something that. Whether it's a pie in the face, whether it's coloring their hair with spray, whatever it is, we're going to concoct something great up for this year.
Well, they got to choose what it was too.
Yeah,
remember?
Yeah, because we had
our fault.
Exactly. Now, last year, and we're going to have something very similar, so I don't want to give it too much away. But last year we had something called the Wheel of Doom. And so that was Wheel of Doom and the Wheel of Non-Doom.
Non-Doom. Yeah, that's what we did to it.
That was fantastic to have that. Brother Day, since you're on the phone, I would like to ask you this question. Not only how did this conference help you and encourage you in its own way, but also what would you say to a preacher that's out there, or anyone that's out there, a bus worker, bus captain, that is listening to the broadcast or watching that has not come to the bus conference, but maybe would like to? What are some things that you could tell them?
Well, I could say this. We, again, like I said, we had a discouraging time when we came there, and we were down to 3 kids. And we got a new bus captain in. That was we were just kind of floating, kind of. And so when we went to the conference, we came back, we put together the spinning wheel, and we did some bus rallies with the kids, and we still do them. We've kind of adjusted a little bit of doing different things. And we've actually grown. We've got about 40 kids now.
Wow!
Coming on Sunday morning. We got, and then we got our kids club on Wednesday night. That's on average 38 to 52. So it has done us, and it's actually just cheered me up. I'll tell you, it was like it gave me just a sense of help and encouragement and. I think if more people want, if they want to experience this, it's on hands. It's great. It's fantastic. I loved it,
Amen.
And we have benefited hugely from it.
Amen. So that's very encouraging and a blessing to hear, brother. we don't ever hear back really from folks. We just, do what we can to be a blessing and pray for the best. But your report is just something that fills us with great joy and excitement about even putting on this year's conference. Do you remember the Tuesday morning sessions? Did you find them helpful?
Yes, actually, I did. There were so many different ideas that were thrown out there, and they were ideas that worked. And so, and when I say that, it's not like you're just coming up with an idea. You're putting forward something that's effective and has worked. And so, it just comes down to implement it to the people that you have, and making it fit within, what you have, and knowing your people and knowing your kids that you want to reach. And so, the tools that you guys handed out, and the ideas, and the encouragement, it was, I came back eager, and it was the first Sunday we were back. We started the rallies, and boom, we just started growing from there. So it was huge, and even gave a kind of what I'd say is a huge push towards my new bus captain. And like I said, he was hoping to come this year. I know my grandson. I brought my grandson with me, and he's been asking for the last 4 or 5 months now. When we going back? So he's already ready to come back.
Well, amen. So, we're going to be excited to see you, and thank you so much for taking the time today to join us here on the radio program, The Brook, and looking forward to spending some time with you when you get out here.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Brother Dave, for being on the radio, and I hope that maybe could help anyone who's out there who's maybe sitting on the edge, not sure if they want to attend the bus conference or not. Of course, we've got some pastors from Iowa coming, some pastors from Colorado coming, from here in Nebraska, from Wyoming. So it's going to be an encouragement, and that is our goal. Our goal is to be an encouragement, not just to necessarily preach at you, but to give you, like Brother Dave said, give you some ideas that we found that works.
One of the things that I've been out here 16 years, one of the things that I wanted to do, a major reason I did this is you hear about the bus ministry, and many people think that in order to have a bus ministry, or an effective bus ministry, you have to be in a large town. And I never have believed that, and we've always had buses, ran buses, and what I want to do is encourage those pastors, even if you're in a small town and a small congregation, if you would consider even starting with a van, just a van, and picking up 5 or 6 kids, just on your own, going and doing a little visiting, that those 5 or 6-year-old kids need Christ, and they would have a good time, and then that kind of spreads and catches in your church, and it really helps to move into teaching on soul winning and evangelism and all those kind of things. So I just love the bus ministry, and I want our small town pastors to understand, in a day when big churches are forsaking their buses, us little guys can hold the line. We can just go out and get a van or a bus and start picking up and visiting and making a difference in people's lives. I think this remnant of Baptist preachers who believe in the bus ministry is what it takes to change the direction of our country.
Mm-hmm. Amen. I think it's Brother Tyson that says America needs 1,000 new churches and 10,000 new bus routes.
Yes.
So, it's such an important part of what America needs. Just outreach, going out and reaching because the kids are the next generation. So, Well, amen. That was great. Thank you so much, Brother Dave, for being on the phone. We really, really appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you in just a week or so. Will, you can go to the next subject.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and, Brother Dave, if you didn't want to hang up, that is fine. We'll just go ahead and continue on. Remember, you can request a song during the show by texting us at 920-940-8275. You can also use the Twitter handle at Canaan_radio or direct messages on Instagram using that same handle. David, what is the next song? Do you know what that next song is? Okay.
I do. Up next is Trading a Cross for a Crown. This song was requested by Lindsay and is done by the Nichols family.
It's not milk, people.
In 2012, during the U.S. Olympics, just after the U.S. team finished second in its 4x400 meter relay heat, Olympian Manteo Mitchell told reporters that his injury was nothing serious. Can you still hear me? Mm-hmm. Okay, just checking.
You're doing good.
After the race, he said it might be just a simple cramp. Turns out it was a whole lot more than that. Mitchell had broken a bone in his left leg.
Wow.
The 25-year-old running the leadoff leg of the 4x400 meter relay felt his fibula snap at the 200-meter mark. He had to finish or the United States would be out of the event. I wanted to just lie down, he said. It felt like somebody literally just snapped my leg in half. For the half lap of the race, he ran in excruciating pain until he handed off to his teammate. Mitchell's part of the race was run in 46.1 seconds, and the Americans went on to qualify for Friday's final. Mitchell said on Monday after the race, before the race, that he was going up a set of stairs. He missed one and landed poorly. I got treatment and I was fine, he said, adding that he felt good warming up for that race. An x-ray taken after the race showed that he had a broken fibula.
Wow.
I told you that story because my burden is that there's a generation of young people and Christians and college students that don't know what it means to finish something.
Yeah, man.
They don't know how to finish because they're not being taught how to start. When Olympians train, training consumes them. Mitchell understood long before the race ever started that he must be prepared. Not only was he prepared, but he had his focus on his purpose. He knew that if he failed or faltered during the race, that he would be responsible for the failure of his teammates. What's amazing about this story isn't just that he finished the race, but that his finish time was less than 2 seconds slower than his personal best to this date.
With two good legs.
With 2 good legs. He ran 200 meters with a snapped fibula. Now, when I think specifically, and this is where I think I'll open it up for conversation, when I think about what my topic, the not milk topic for this week, it is finishing. And I don't mean just finishing, a steak. I'm talking about finishing in the ministry.
Yeah.
I think it's very often that you'll see people who they give up on something after you try. What's crazy to think about is he ran the first 200 meters fine. As soon as things got hard, he could have stopped. He could have fell down. He could have decided he was going to stop, but he pushed himself to keep going. I think that's one thing that's not being told to young people, to college students. I just came from a master's program, and it's something that I think you see everywhere. It's not just exclusive to one specific school, but it's an epidemic that we see among college students, especially Christian college students, that there is no urgency or need or desire to finish. College is not looked at as the ministry. It's being looked at as just a place where you can not pretend, but practice ministry. And that's not the same kind of practice that you would see from like a doctor. Whereas doctors practice medicine, they're learning all the time. Pastors practice being a pastor. They're doing it all the time. When you're a college student, you are practicing ministry. Not a practice as in, oh, it doesn't matter if I fail or if I don't give 100%, but we're practicing as in it's our job to get in and stay in and have that desire to give it our all. Even when things get tough, we should be giving it our all. And then one of the points that I had made that I would hope that we would be able to talk about is preparation for college, because that's not one thing you don't see a lot when it comes to kids going into school that are going to a Baptist college or to a Bible college. It's amazing to me to think about people that, they're working at NASA or working at these crazy places where people had to spend a lot of time at like MIT, or these people didn't just decide one day they were I'm going to be an astronaut or I'm going to be someone who works at NASA. No, they spent their lives. We're talking their high school years working and studying and trying and failing. Where is that desire in the next generation of young people? And this isn't a doom and gloom. I want this to be an encouragement to young people to realize if someone like this Olympic runner can see his need to continue fighting because it was his responsibility to make sure that baton went to the next person. If we don't have a generation that sees that the baton needs to go to the next person, then there may not be hope for America. So I open it up for discussion.
Did you want to go first?
No, I was just wondering about
I was thinking about it. Will is talking about college, and I remember when I was in college, there were so many people there, and the statistics were told to us while I was there was that those who had dropped out of college very rarely ever came back to finish. And whether the situation or whatever it was finances was probably the biggest one, or family. And even if they had a good intention saying, I'm going to be back next semester or I'm going to be back next year, the time after time, 9 times out of 10, they did not come back. I knew of one student that had come back to finish when I was there, and that was it. And just having that in mind, even whatever your goals are in life, if you don't have a plan of attack to get to it. So if God's called you to ministry, you're in Bible college or whatever it is, and what's your plan behind that? If your plan is, hey, God's called me in ministry, I'm going to serve him all my life. If you don't finish the simple things, even if it's just the simple thing of Bible college,
I think
then you're never going to get to where you need to be. And just real quick, sorry, I know we're short on time, but in Luke chapter 14, verse 28, for which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it. And then here is something to consider. Most people don't. Verse 29 says, lest haply after he hath laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it. That means everybody else, the world's going to see this, behold it and begin to mock him.
Right.
So everybody's going to see your track record. So if you want to serve God with your life, what is it that you can show other people? This is what I finished.
And to that point, I think one of the reasons that some college students don't end up finishing is because I think the value of what they're doing is underestimated.
Right.
The value of college. I think to a lot of students, college is just a time of 4 years where maybe you get to hang out with friends. Maybe, of course, you're going to learn some stuff in the Bible, some stuff from your classes. But really, to really finish college, you have to understand that college isn't just about, and I said this actually this week in our college class, college class isn't just about class. It's not just about percentages and grades and the things that you get to experience and do during college.
Now you got to get good grades.
Yeah, that's important. But more than anything, college is another step up in learning how to deal with life. And exactly to your point, if you don't finish, that creates a habit in your life. Big or small, it creates habits. If you don't finish a class, even if it's just a class, it goes down to all the way to a single problem.
Right.
That's why Paul said if you're in a race, you should run all. Because when you go to college, it's not just to go to college just to say, I went 4 years, I've got this piece of paper that shows that I can, take English class or take a Bible class. Yeah. It's to show you, hey, I have a value on not only what I'm learning, but that these things that I'm learning is molding my habits and teaching me how to deal with things that are hard in my life. When I have to work a job, I have finals coming up, and I'm also stressed out about 3 other things, maybe have a relationship on the side, and all of these different things in your life are swirling around. You have to learn how to categorize those things and still pass your classes and still continue on, which guess what? In life, my mom told me that all the time through college, and I'm freshly out of college, so I'm just speaking really from my mother's experience, really. And she told me throughout college, she said, David, when you're stressed out, when you've got tons of things on your plate that you have to do, remember that you have to learn how to work life, and that's a part of what college is about.
Yeah. So hearing all three of you talk, of course, it's from a younger perspective, but you're very right in all those things, and I think your hearts are to encourage those that may be making the wrong decision at this point of their life of actually backing out of college or quitting college. A couple things real quick. And number one, you've got investment in starting college. You maybe went a year, but that's money you spent. And nobody should invest their money unwisely. Right. If there's no clear direction, you should definitely just stay faithful and grind it out, pay your bills and do good and get done. You'll never regret finishing that course. Let me say that I think there's a underlying problem, and the reason we have so many that back away. And Will, you kind of jokingly said really what's you said I'm not talking about finishing a steak. Well, we also kind of smiled and looked at each other because we're all going to finish our steaks, and no problem with that. But the truth is, we have a generation of parents that don't make their children when they're young finish
That's right.
their food. finish their chores, finish their homework. And they don't make them do that, and the kid whines or doesn't want to do it. So now we have a generation of people going out of high school and going into Bible college. They have no call, they have no direction, and so somewhere along the line, pastors thought they were very wise by saying, "Well, give God a year." The thing is that's really not what we want to do. We want to challenge people to start and to finish a race all the way through. So sometimes we think we're meeting someone halfway because they're coming out of a home where they've never learned to finish anything. But I really think pastors need to mount their pulpits and teach in their Sunday school class and encourage people to teach their children at home to finish the small little things in life so they're conditioned when they're older. I'm thinking about this runner. What in the world? He ran 2 seconds slower with a broken leg. I'm sitting there thinking, what's going through his head? So many thoughts would go through your head. If anybody had a right to stop and quit, lay down, and he didn't. And what did he do? He pushed through. He said, I have people depending on me.
Right.
If I don't do this, the whole team doesn't get to participate.
And also, he no doubt had
his mama made him eat his collard greens.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, I bet he had a passion for what he was doing.
Yeah.
He had in order to get to the Olympics, you've got to not only have a passion, but a plan. And I mean, that's huge. And I would encourage every young person, if you're in high school or younger, and you're not even to college yet, man, I encourage you to get a passion for something to do for God. And not something that you want to do for yourself, but something that you want to do for God, and then hold on to that passion, talk to your pastor, talk to your parents, and figure out how to accomplish that passion. Because one of the reasons people quit is because they got no passion, no grit, no grind about them.
So let me go back to my point. I agree with you. That's, again, returning to trying to say to those that are in college, finish what you start. That is a resounding amen all the way around the table here today. But I'm going to tell you, parents, something. You don't have much time to influence your children in a way that will help them to be finishers. And if you're looking to be your child's friend first and their parent whenever you get a chance, you're not gonna make them finish. But if you're their parent first, and you parent them strongly and help them, they'll not like it at first, but they'll be thanking God in the end. So I'm gonna just say this to all you parents that are raising young kids. Realize their future depends on you at least teaching them how to finish what they start. And let me say, secondly, those that may have quit, left college, you're gone, come back. It's not too late. Just get right back in it and finish what you started. It's better than sitting out there, keep telling yourself, oh, I'm okay, while you're working at McDonald's or you're at a lumber yard or something. Not that those are bad things, but you started something and you just need to finish it.
And where's a great place to finish college?
Where's that?
Great Plains. Great Plains Baptist College.
Segue.
A little plug there.
That is good.
So we got a song to announce?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
do.
we can go to a song. I've got the next song
Go ahead, give it
queued
to
up.
us.
Next up, we've got Overcomer. The song was requested by Emily and sung by Hiles Anderson College.
Grapes of Wrath.
And we're back with our segment on Grapes of Wrath. So this week I was thinking about what's something that annoys me to pieces. Well, it happened again today. But
man.
Of all days.
seatbelt warning chimes.
Oh, boy.
You get in the car, and it's one thing if you're driving.
Ding,
I understand that.
ding,
And you don't have your seatbelt on, and you're rushing down the road, blah, blah, blah. And suddenly you hear this annoying sound. But you know what's worse is these days, the newfangled cars have passenger warning signs.
Sensors,
yeah,
and they can
And
sense.
tells how fat the people are next to you. Brother JP. Anyway, that's just something that really bugs me. I know you can just fasten your seatbelt and it goes away, but who has time for that these days?
Yeah.
Wow.
I trust in Jesus, but I don't know what you're talking about.
I was just gonna say we could just do like my dad does, but we'll just.
we was not even good.
I have cheaters.
No.
He's got the little clips you just put in, so you can put your seatbelt on. Just the clip.
So what you do is you go through the Walmart parking lot, try a bunch of doors, see if they're open, and we'll find one that is, and then you just cut their clippers off. And you got
Wow.
Don't take that advice.
No, don't do that. Okay, we do not promote violence. Okay, here we go. Mine was cold fries. I'm telling you right now, okay. I know. Okay, so my dad's the kind of person where you'll take it back. You'll take it back, and I can remember when I first. I say when I was young enough to remember that, I was always like, oh man, I feel bad for those people. Now that I'm older, and I care because I'm buying the food.
You're buying it. That's
I'm buying the food. I am like, are you kidding me? My fries are cold. Mm-hmm. So that's my little grapes of wrath there.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I hate cold fries. Am I next? Or
yeah,
you're
next.
I'm next.
You're next.
Okay, so the college students were able this week to come into the media room, and we watched the State of the Union address. And it was okay. I mean, I really enjoyed the speech by President Trump. It was the best. It was amazing.
Huge.
It was so huge. It was so good. He has the best words. But no, of course, it's very frustrating as you're watching to see President Trump say a lot of the accomplishments that have been made in America over the last 4 years, or all of the good things that he did, and see a lot of the Democrats shaking their head, not standing up, not clapping, having a horrible, and Nancy Pelosi in the background is just, it's so frustrating. But the thing that got me, I can handle all that. I can handle it. Thing that got me was right at the end when President Trump got done speaking, everyone's clapping, he begins to walk away, and Nancy Pelosi took the State of the Union address that she was given, and she ripped it up right in front of everyone. Yeah, exactly. First of all, of course,
she had to pre-rip it though because
she's so
strong
weak.
enough to.
Yeah, that just got me so livid because it's one thing not to applaud, not to clap, and not to agree with somebody, but when you hold the position that she holds and you're sitting there in front of everyone, it is just disrespectful. Of course, it's childish to do something like that, and that just got my blood boiling.
I can understand that. So mine is today a little bit lengthy, but it's about the lack of people using perspective in processing life. So just to give you an idea what I'm talking about, when you are in an art class or taking any kind of drawing class, they'll teach you about the points of perspective and how to draw within and using the laws or the rules of perspective. So you have a single point of perspective. That's pretty much where you have a horizon, you have a dot, and then everything goes back to that dot. It's kind of like if you're looking at a railroad track and you stood right on it and looked straight down the railroad track, eventually that railroad track would disappear. So that's one point of perspective. Well, 2 points of perspective is when you look at something, you actually can see two sides of one object. 3 points of perspective, when you draw or when you look at something, you see 3 points or three sides of that object. So, but then there's something called 0 point of perspective. That is basically when you look at maybe some scenery, and there's really no one point of perspective where everything goes back to. You have multiple, and you kind of lose those points of perspective. That's called 0 point of perspective. And so people today do not spend any time in their life thinking about perspective and trying to see where things start at or where they come from. And when there is no point of perspective or they can't see that point of perspective, what I'd like to do today real quick is kind of just give you some things that maybe will help you understand what you should do then. Some things to remember, things to keep in mind about perspective. First of all, objects are larger the closer they are, and they decrease in size proportionately the further away they are. So now that is a perspective of urgency. I'll give you an example. So if you look and you're on a railroad track and you look up and the train is really, really big,
Run!
You're in trouble. Get out of there. But if the train is like way far away, the urgency is not quite as big. Secondly, the closer objects are, the more detailed they are. Objects lose detail the further away they are. So that would be the perspective of clarity. So that's how you can see things in clear. And you see, like, again, there's a train, and boy, you could read the name, the Santa Fe. No mistaking that. It's very clear. But if you're standing off to the side and the train is flying down the track, it's going to blur. You're not going to be able to see that quite as much. That's a point of perspective of clarity. So then there's this thought. Color fades, becoming more muted, blending into the background colors. So you have colors, but they fade. So that's perspective of listening. So sometimes things begin to fade. You're not really sure what's going on. Sometimes you have to slow down, give that person perspective, listen to what's going on, because those things fade. Then there's objects placed higher on a plane create more of the feeling of depth or distance. Now that's perspective of positioning. So you ever heard somebody say, you're making a big deal out of this? Well, that's pretty much taking an issue and putting it way up here, and it's the higher on plane it is, the bigger the deal it is. And then there's overlapping shades that tend to create a feeling of depth. That's the perspective of layering. In other words, you lay one thing on top of another. You ever heard the statement, he made a mountain out of a molehill? What is that? That's layering, And not only that, you think about that, maybe sometimes we make a bigger deal out of things we should because we don't have any perspective. We just keep layering it on. So when we have in life, we have no one point of perspective. We have to utilize these things, this perspective of urgency. How fast do I deal with a problem? The perspective of clarity. Is this something I understand, or should I hold my tongue? The perspective of listening. Maybe I ought to listen before I answer. Right? The perspective of positioning, making sure that I'm standing at a right angle, right venue, making sure that I'm on the right side, which is a Bible side. Amen?
Amen.
And then the perspective of layering, and making sure that when I'm working with people in the ministry, or when I'm working with somebody, when I hear something they say, and this is a case where something has been put on top of something else. You might have an underlying issue that has to be gotten to. So how you look at something affects how you respond to something. When you agree with that? Perspective doesn't teach you how to paint. It just helps you with perspective. Okay, it just helps you kind of put things in order. Perspective will not make you an expert about life, but it will help you deal with it. It will help you deal with life. So, my irritation is that a lot of times we think because we don't see it, there's no 1 dot, 2 dots, 3 dots, that we can't figure it out. And I'm saying, no, sometimes you have to stop and think. Perspective actually gives you perspective.
That's good.
That's what I got for you.
That's good.
That is good. Are we gonna? Do we need to go?
We go to the next song.
Go to a song.
Yeah.
Let's go to a song.
I think I've got it here.
Requested?
Yes, and thank you for everyone who is requesting songs. You blew up our text messaging. We had so many text messages, so we can't get to everyone. And some of yours, if we don't have the song, we're just going to throw in the closest thing. But this next one is Raylan, and we have Shelters by His Grace. This song was requested by Raylan. I think I said that.
And honey, that sweet nectar.
Well, isn't that just sweet?
Tender like chicken.
We like to end our broadcast on a sweet note, on a positive note.
Absolutely.
A bit of honey.
On a bit of honey. That is why we have delegated this segment to talking about things that are good, that are positive. And I would like to start by saying it has been such a joy over the last, I think, 2 weeks now that Will has been back. It has been such a joy to be able to work with you. Isn't that just so sweet?
Tender.
No, I'm really used to, honestly, working in the media office. I'm used to working by myself for the most part, unless I'm out helping Peter or whatever we're doing. But for the most part, I've never ever, I don't think we've both worked on staff at the same time.
We haven't, no.
And so this is a first, and so it has just been a blast. It's just been fun. Nice to have somebody else who understands a little bit of the media stuff to where, I could tell Peter, but he doesn't really.
He's used to coming into my office telling me a bunch of stuff, and I go,
Of course, yeah. Peter's got the same thing. He comes to me and tells me something he's doing. I'm like, So no, that's been great.
It's called enthusiasm. Well, hey, something that I've been enjoying for the last couple of weeks is I've got a kid in my Sunday school class named Keithan. He is about 7 years old, but he has been getting help from his older sister to memorize his memory verses every single week. And we're not talking little verses where, Jesus wept. We're talking full length, and
Esther
he can
8:9,
say them.
Esther 8:9.
Esther 8:9,
Yeah, the Bible?
no. Never mind. I won't say that.
No.
But he has been working hard every single week just to do it. And I'm saying this because if he can do this and memorize these verses, then any other kid has absolutely no excuse.
Amen.
I love the bus ministry. This little kid that Brother Peter's talking about, we first had him on the bus during Ice Cream Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And that little
Longest
kid,
Ice
how
Cream
old
Sunday.
was he when he first started coming?
I'm probably like 4.
Yeah, he wasn't
probably
very
about
old.
4.
I mean, he's got one eye, looks at the other. But, man, he saw that ice cream, both eyes went straight, and then he just went to eating that.
Yes.
And what's gross about that is that, everybody's eating
Oh,
out
it
of
was
same
the world's
trough.
longest
World's
Sunday.
biggest Sunday. Yes.
Yeah, so.
But I told the bus workers, I said, there's something special about this kid. You watch him. And sure enough, it's been how many years now, and he just comes and he's learning.
coming.
And he's growing. And I'm excited. He loves preaching. He sits on the edge
He's
of
a
the
smart-
church.
he's a
Listens,
smart kid, too.
So I wanted to just say real quick, thank you very much, North Platte Baptist Church, for all the love you showered upon me and my wife last week on our 16th anniversary here at the church. It just was a blessing. I just want to tell you I love you very much. Thank you.
And my little bit of honey, I'm going to split in half and do a little bit that kind of mirrors what David said. I am just glad to be home. It is so good to wake up going to church, and you're like, I'm not that I wasn't serving the Lord before. It's just I'm home. I'm home with my family.
There's no place
That's
like
right. No place like home. Super, super thankful. Super excited about that. And of course, now with Kaylee being home, that's exciting too.
You're
that,
glad to go home.
I can escape from the stresses. Yeah, exactly. I'm excited to go home. And then the second half of my little bit of honey that I wanted to share is that Kaylee and I are going to represent Bust Them In.
Amen.
The ministries there, and over the next few months we'll get more details about what all that is going to entail, but we're hoping to be able to visit churches to promote the ministry of Bust Them In and what it is that they do. And of course we'll talk more about that, I'm sure, in the future. But making sure that we are starting, that is one thing we focus on so much around here, the bus kids, the bus ministry, the next generation really is the hope of America. And if we're going to try and keep people from, like Nancy Pelosi, out of office, we need to make sure the next generation that will
you're
fill
right,
it in.
But there's so much more. And that there's, to me, something more important than that. And that is when you think about the life that your wife came from, and how the bus ministry was used as an instrumental tool.
Right.
You think about this, folks. You keep the buses rolling, you never know your child's spouse maybe reached through the bus ministry.
And that is Kaylee's testimony, being picked up on the bus and then being invested in by the bus driver, bus captain, per se, the one who made the bus ministry happen where he was at.
Every church is different. Our church is like everybody's on board with the bus ministry. I have been in churches and pastored some churches where there's 2 or 3 people, or only one person that would, if they stopped, the bus would stop.
Right.
And thank God for Brother and Mrs. Young and their willingness to stay faithful to running the buses and going after it.
Well, I sure am thankful.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
No, come on.
So anyway, we're excited about that opportunity and what that brings to us. And, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to announce the winner of the giveaway. Oh, boy. So we took the digital answers, which I do want to make sure to tell you a little bit about that. We had a lot of submissions. We had several people who were able to complete everything. But I will say the one person who completed everything and came one person away from having 3 listening. So they had 2 people listening and they
dip our
completed.
standards,
Whoa, what are you talking about? We're going to give it to the person who did everything. And that winner today is Sarah Ortiz.
Amen.
So we will get your information after the broadcast, and we will be sending you the Canaan Radio T-shirt.
How about that?
I love her tweets too. I get a kick out of them.
Absolutely. So she will be able to represent Canaan Radio,
you
where
go.
she lives. Thank you so
I
much.
laugh sometimes because sometimes her tweets are a little bit more opinionated than her husband's. And I love it.
I liked it back. I mean, this was like a year ago. They were arguing back and forth about dishwasher and like, if does this really need to go in the dishwasher or something. It was hilarious. I loved it. It was great. And hey, we really, really appreciate all the listeners
Amen.
and
Yes, we
all the work that they're doing
We do.
to help get the word out. We really do appreciate.
We know
that.
right here at the beginning it's going to be a little rough, but we're thankful that you'll stick with us anyway, and we really hope that you will invite more people.
Amen.
The best thing you can do for us, not only is listening, but is sharing it with people around you. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of The Brook. We hope you will join us again next week at the same time and in the same place for another fun-filled show. David, Pastor Peter, thank you for the great broadcast. JT, we didn't even mention your name.
Thank you.
Hey, JT.
Thank you, JT.
Thank you, sir.
For everything. You can find this show in podcast form on our website and on YouTube and on iTunes this Tuesday. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you joined us today on YouTube. Before we go, we would like to leave you with this verse of encouragement. Pastor has this week's verse.
James chapter 1, verse 22, but be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves.
Amen. And with that, we will leave with a song. Samuel, thank you for requesting a song. We did not have the one you requested, but we did have one similar. The song was sung by the Epleys. It is Never Failing God.
The Brook, a ministry of North Platte Baptist Church.